This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not meeting Mrs. Jones in that cafe for a chat and nothing else, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
2021 is the year of the local election. From fire district commission to school board to city council, there are over 300 offices up for election this year in King County alone. This could be your chance to serve in your community. Running for office can be daunting. We get it. With so many moving pieces, it's important to know what paperwork is due when, how to file to put your name on the ballot, what's needed for a voter pamphlet, where you can and can't put campaign signs, how to get voter lists. That's where King County elections comes in. We can't teach you how to campaign. We can teach you how to make your run official. Join us for one of our upcoming candidate workshops in April. Thursday, April 1st, 6 p.m. 8 p.m. Saturday, April 17th, 10 a.m. to noon. Thursday, April 29th, 10 a.m. to noon. Join us for one of our upcoming candidate workshops in April to learn the ins and outs of becoming a candidate here in King County. Sign up today at bit.ly/King Workshops to get ready to run. That's bit.ly/King Workshops.
What's on your heart? Are you exhausted at the lack of progress for people of color in business, politics, and life? This is Cindy Bright, the host of Heartbeat Radio. Each week, we explore this heart condition of the country that is affecting you and me. We have real conversations about what's necessary for change. It's time to change this dialogue. Will you join this Heartbeat weekly, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio?
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram, Rainier Avenue Radio.world, and on Twitter at Rainier Ave Radio.
Your creative work might look a little different this year, but 4Culture grants can still help you put your ideas in motion and share them with King County. Check this out. 4Culture is now offering grants in 3 disciplines: arts, heritage, and historic preservation. Apply by April 28th. For more information, go to 4culture.org. What's that date again? The deadline to apply for a 4Culture grant is April 28th. Are you interested in getting your project financially supported? 4Culture wants to support your cultural activities and share them with King County. Do you do creative work in the arts? 4Culture is now offering grants in 3 disciplines: arts, heritage, and historic preservation. Apply by April 28th. I have some ideas. For more information, go to 4culture.org. As a cultural funding agency for King County, 4Culture wants to support your creative work. For more information, go to 4culture.org.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not explaining to my intern exactly what R&B is, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Rainier Avenue Radio, your community radio station.
This is Cindy Bright, the host of Heartbeat Radio.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time.
This is Paul Schneiderman today on the 73rd edition.
Hey, y'all, welcome to
Rainier
Travelers
Avenue
Guide to
Radio.
Venus and Mars. Princess Robin.
You guys know me. Dirty Harry.
Your home for information about the impact of the
And
coronavirus.
amongst many things that's difficult about this virus is that it
Well,
prevents
it's
you from
devastating.
gathering. So
They're really heartbreaking stories of people who have.
There isn't anyone that isn't impacted.
shutting our schools down, including all athletic programs.
Your firsthand accounts.
I got here just to check, and I found out that I was positive.
A lot of people who know me, I'm still the first person they know.
But it was almost like you were patient zero for South Seattle. Your stories of community coming together.
Partner very heavily with Tacoma Urban League, who is doing some amazing work in response.
We're doing things for small businesses. We're giving out loans for small businesses.
And so I think it's very important that we have leaders who feel.
I mean, I cannot tell you we're calling 20, 30, 40 members.
This crisis in our community, we've been working to address it.
Rainier Avenue Radio, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a month.
DJ Dirty John. Karen Z with Rainier Avenue Radio.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Rainier Avenue Radio.world. We got you covered. Local impact, Global Press. We broadcast. Welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio.world and our weekly coverage of the impact of the communities. Continuation of our series. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us again here. And then again, now we are aware of the fact that we are and more folks listening to that. Metro League High School sports are back.
There's Jordan. Makes a stutter step inside, breaks a tackle. He's off and running. He's going to take it all the way.
Join Rainier Avenue Radio, your home team for Metro League football, basketball, baseball, girls soccer, track and field, bowling, and even more than that. We got you. Watch Metro League High School sports on Rainier Avenue Radio via Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You can listen in right at our website, RainierAvenueRadio.world, or download our app for free to listen and watch. Metro League High School Sports 2021 on RainierAvenueRadio.world, powered by the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle, King County, 4Culture, and the Seattle Mariners.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. I'm Granville Emerson along with my partner, Ronald Pepe Bean. And we host the show Lidline Sports right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, where we talk about football, basketball, local sports, national sports, Seahawks, UW, Seattle U Redhawks, Garfield Bulldogs, all that and more right here on Midline Sports on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Rainier Avenue Radio.
Yo,
what up, though?
I got to talk. I gotta tell what I feel. Gotta talk about my life as I see it.
All right, then. It's time for you to bring it to the table.
Turn up your radio wherever you at. We about to bring it.
Street Beat.
Yeah. With Tony B.
For the next hour, Tony B will give you a chance to tackle local, national, and international issues that affect your community.
Street Beat. Street Beat. Tony.
Welcome to this week's edition of Street Beat. It's me, your host, Tony B. And as always, Street Beat will be the beat of the city, which today is going to be about 4Culture and your opportunity to apply for a grant. There's actually a workshop going on later tonight that you can attend. We'll give you more information about that. And we are going to tell you everything that you need to know to apply for a 4Culture grant. I'd like to welcome to the program Chieko Phillips. Chieko, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
Under the circumstances, Chieko, fantastic. And you know what? I'm really excited about the opportunity to find out how I and everyone who's watching and listening can apply for a 4Culture grant, what these grants are. You know what? We might even have to start with who 4Culture is, but I'll give a little background information on you, Chieko. Chieko is the 4Culture Heritage Program Director and administers grant and field service support programs for King County's Heritage Field. Now, prior to 4Culture, Chieko worked in a number of culture and education-based nonprofits, including the Northwest African American Museum, UNCF, Photographic Center Northwest, and blackpast.org. All right, now we can do that big round of applause, Daniel. I know. Okay. Chieko, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I talked a little bit about your background and not much about 4Culture. You did hear me talk about the grants and the fact that there's a workshop tonight. So let's start with this. For anyone who may be unaware of who 4Culture is, what 4Culture does, or share a little bit of the history of 4Culture, and you can get a little bit into the weeds because you now kind of operate differently. I think you were engaged with King County in a different way before.
Absolutely. So 4Culture is King County's cultural services agency. So what that means is we support the cultural sector, the wide cultural sector. This includes arts, it includes history, it includes cultural preservation, preservation of cultural traditions. It includes public art, which is art that you might stumble across out on a walk in the city, and we support historic preservation, which is the preservation of our built environment. So our charge is to support all of these sorts of efforts through the funding and with the funding that comes to us from public dollars, from taxes. So King County has 1% for art ordinance, as well as some lodging tax fees that are specifically designated to support arts, heritage, and culture. And so 4Culture is the agency that manages those funds. And you said it a little bit already. We started off as the Department of Cultural Resources. We were straight up part of the county government. And then we spun off into a public development authority, which is our structure today. And we're an independent agency, but we do receive funds that are collected from the public.
Awesome. And we're here today to really, and whatever you want to do. I know one of the things that I'm excited about, though, is encouraging people who have ideas, who have thoughts, who have projects that they've been thinking about to apply for a 4Culture grant, right?
Yes, I would love to talk about that. We can definitely talk about the program that we have open right now, which is projects.
All right. So I mentioned that there was a workshop going on this evening.
Yes, so we have a variety of workshops that are going on. So if folks aren't available to come to a workshop today, each one of our departments, so right now there are 3 different programs going on. They're all part of the same program. They all have the title of projects, but there are 3 different departments that have open applications right now. And so each one of those departments have a set of workshops that are different days. Mm-hmm. So we just had one yesterday. I had one on Monday. So the different departments will have different workshops. The best place to find information about all of those dates is our website, 4culture.org. And then what you'll do when you get there is you'll look for the specific program that you're interested in applying to. So if you're interested in arts, you'll look for for arts projects. If you're interested in heritage, you'll look for heritage projects. And then on the guidelines page, you'll find all of the workshop dates that you could ever possibly want to know. And actually, I think we also, a new feature of our because we just have so many workshops, is actually on the top of each guideline page. There's a link that will take you directly to the workshop. So you can find all of the dates you would ever want to know. So I do have one that's coming up tonight. It's from 6 to 7. So it isn't an evening workshop, so folks can come if they have a project that they think might be related to history in King County, historical practices in what is now King County, history and heritage of this land before it was known as King County. If you just want to talk to me, if you want to see how many times I can say King County in a sentence, you can definitely come to my workshop tonight at 6. All of our workshops are on Zoom this year, so all of them are on Zoom. And if you miss a workshop, I believe we're all putting at least one of the recordings on our guidelines page, so folks can come in and listen to it after the fact. And yeah, so that's a little bit about our workshops. And in that, we talk specifically about the application process. So you'll hear what is actually on this grant application, what is it that we're going to ask you to fill out. You hear a little bit about what happens after you submit the application. Basically, a lot of the things that I could talk about right now. But then we're also available to answer those one-on-one questions if you have very specific questions about an idea that you're working on and you just want to hear some tips and tricks or get some personal questions answered. We do that.
You're listening to Street Beat with me, Tony B. My guest is Chieko Phillips, 4Culture Heritage Program Director. I'm trying to help you get your thing funded. That's the bottom line. Okay. So I want to remove as many barriers as possible for people to have access to what we're talking about. So correct me if I'm wrong, Chieko. Essentially, we're talking about 3 buckets here of funding, of potential funding. One is arts, another is heritage, and then it's historical preservation. Am I being too simplistic, or is that about right? Is that what we're looking at right now?
That's exactly right. Okay.
So an arts project, for someone who has an arts project, give us an example. Someone out there may be thinking, hey, I've been thinking about doing this. What types of arts projects would be eligible for a grant, and how much money are we talking about?
All right. So at 4Culture, we define arts very broadly. So you might think arts, let's see, someone might think, oh, I have a series of paintings that I've been really wanting to make. But it could also be theatrical work if someone is, wanting to do some plays. It also includes literary arts and documentaries. We get a lot of folks who maybe are working on some sort of a documentary project and they need some funding for post-production or things like that. Performance art is also a huge percentage of applications that come through. And it's important to note that this, includes forms of, of Western art that you might think of, but it also includes cultural traditions that are performed. Cultural dances, it might not be ballet, it might not be tap, but it's a folk dance or something like that. And there's a preservation or a showcase or something like that that a group would be interested in creating. We support quite a few cultural festivals. So this might be an event where, there are cultural traditions that are being shared, they're being celebrated. Sometimes they're in the streets, sometimes they're at Seattle Center. Opportunities like that can receive funding through 4Culture. So really, we have a broad definition of what arts is.
Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
For arts, one of the things just to keep in mind is that we do have it's a bucket, but it has 2 sub buckets.
Okay.
So there's a individuals bucket, and then there's also a group arts bucket. So if you're an individual artist, musician, or something like that, you can apply as an individual to receive some funds for a project. But if you're a duo or a trio, or you have a group, you can apply for group arts projects. So there are 2 different application processes for that. So that's something to keep in mind.
All right. I like the way we were breaking this down for folks. Let's make this and the other question was, and how much money is available in one of these grants?
Yeah. So let's see. For my program, the maximum award is $7,000. For arts, it's a little different. And I have that information somewhere.
That's okay. Take your time. We'll wait because we know people want to know about that part.
There we go. Was that a buzzer? Did I just get a buzzer?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. It's a buzzer I'm hearing.
Oh, you thought we had you on the money clock, huh? Okay. Show me the money. All right.
So for arts, you can get $2,000 or $4,000 if you're applying as a group. If you're applying as an individual, you can get $2,000, $4,000, or $6,000. So they have a little bit of a different structure program where you apply for a specific amount of money, and you get that amount. With heritage and preservation, it's a little different.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with arts for a second, and then we'll move on.
Thank you.
Okay, yes. So with arts as an example, with this funding, if you're saying, I also need an equipment, I need to buy a lens or a camera. What can the money be used for? What again are the parameters about the grant, and how you apply it to whatever your project is?
Yes. So the funding can be used to purchase supplies, to execute a project, to pay other people who are part of your project, to rent a space if there's a need to be in a space. There's lots of different. It's a pretty broad range of how you can use the money. If you're an individual. For the purchase of equipment, we do have it depends on what kind of equipment it is. If it's small equipment, if it's arts materials, something that you need to do to execute the project, that's perfectly fine. If it's larger pieces of equipment, like you need like a computer, or you need something that is seen not so much as something that you just use, that you consume, you might want to check with the program manager just to make sure that it's going to be an eligible expense, because we do have a separate program that is specifically for these kind of larger pieces of equipment.
Okay, now let's go into another area. Again, this is Tony B. You're listening to Street Beat right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. The beat of the city is grants available for you to support your project and projects in King County. I'm talking with Chieko Phillips, Cultural Heritage Program Director. Now, I mentioned another bucket, and you can frame this however you want to. I'm just trying to make it so that people can say, am I eligible? And the other one was historic. So tell us about what that means, a historical project.
Yes. So this is my sweet dear department. So our heritage program.
Heritage. I'm sorry. Heritage.
No, you're fine. So also heritage has a broad definition at 4Culture as well. I think something that folks often tend to go to at first when they hear heritage is history,
which is what I did, but that's not, but it's heritage. So yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll let you go.
No, you're totally fine. And history is definitely part of it. But also heritage means we're looking to share and support the ethnic histories and ethnic heritage and cultural traditions of communities that have come to King County. It also includes indigenous and cultural traditions that were here and are still here in this land before it was called King County. It also includes folklore and other sorts of cultural traditions that might be preserved through practice. So language, cooking, storytelling, those are also considered heritage practices. So, and also archaeology and built environment, historical buildings, cultural landscapes like gardens that have been around in our area for a long time. So there really is, we kind of take an expansive view on what heritage is, and those are just some examples.
And again, this is money that is available for individuals or groups who have projects within King County that they would like to get funded by 4Culture, correct?
That is correct.
And go ahead.
So the applicants need to be in King County, but of course we know that our geographic borders are made up. So the content of the histories, of the stories, don't have to be just confined to King County, especially since we know history and cultures and the way that people move and kind of exchange information and knowledge transcends these borders that are in our modern time. So I always like to point that out as well.
And the third bucket that I was talking about, preservation special projects.
Yes. So preservation special projects is for the preservation. I keep saying the built environment, but what that means is buildings and cultural landscapes that have been in King County, in the area that before it was actually called King County, and that carry the historical kind of lessons and stories of our place. So if you know of a place that has special meaning to your community and you're interested in researching it, you're interested in seeing if you can fix it up or if you can get it landmarked so that it can be on the record as a place of historical significance, preservation special projects is going to be the place for you to go to kind of to ask to see if that funding is appropriate for your work.
All right. So, and the timeline on these grants are they all due at the same time? When is the final deadline that your applications have to be turned into? I want to make sure we get that info out there for folks so that they understand how much time they have to prepare for this.
Yeah. So the deadline is April 28th. They are all due on the same day. We do close down the applications at 5. So please note that it is 5 and not midnight. So try to get in there and get your application completed before 5 on the 28th. And that's about February 28th. April 28th. I'm already back in February. So that's about a month.
Okay. And as I was talking about up front, in the interim, you have workshops that are taking place where people can find out more about how to apply for the grant, ask questions about their particular project. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
And I mentioned one was taking place tonight. There's some other ones. Everything is going to be essentially done over Zoom. And why don't you tell us some fundamental things right now, because we only got a couple minutes left. This went so fast. For people who are saying, okay, I want to apply. It was great because I wanted to get the information out there. Now you find out that you potentially have a project that is eligible because it's your project and it's something that you think is important to you and it fits in these buckets somehow. Now, how do I begin to apply for this?
Yeah, the fun part. So to begin with, you need to set up so all of our applications are submitted online. So we have a grant portal and you need to make sure you can get into the grant portal. So the first thing I would recommend, if you have never applied to us before, go to apply.4culture.org and request an account. And I would absolutely recommend that as the very, very, very first thing that you do.
Okay, one more again. Run that back by us one more again. Your suggestion. Do this first.
Go to apply.4culture.org and request an account so you can access our grant portal.
Okay, because this technology thing can be weird sometimes.
Yes. And we have lots of staff support available to help you get in. So if it's not working out, I think there's an email address right there on the page that gets to my colleague Jackie Mixon. She is a rock star and she can get anyone into the portal. I would also say if you are just setting up an account for the first time, that means you've probably never received funding from us before. And if that's the case, I might also recommend that you check out a grant program called Open 4Culture. Which is a program that was created specifically for folks who have never received funding from us. It's a slightly smaller amount. It's $1,500, but it's there as kind of a welcome to 4Culture. This is how you apply to our programming, and so this might be something for you to look at if you've never received funding from us before.
All right, we are going to do this one more again before the 28th. All right, we'll cover some other areas.
Great.
Chieko, it's been great. I got about 30 seconds left here that I want to leave with you for final words that you would like to share.
So some words from our program managers. Don't forget to share your passions in your grant applications. Writing, requesting money, oftentimes it's not fun. But the people on the other side reading the applications are artists and cultural workers just like you, and they want to read about your passions and what's motivating you to do this project. So don't forget to try to fit your passions into your grant application.
I think that's a fitting way because a lot of times, with these grants, the passion is the thing that people say, well, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the fundamentals, but that's cool that it incorporates how passionate people are. Chieko, thank you. And again, if you're listening, come get you some money. There's money out there. Come get you some money from 4Culture for your project to help make our community vibrant. Chieko, guess what?
What?
It's our birthday today as Rainier Avenue Radio.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, it's our birthday today. It's 4 years, and here in about 3 minutes, we're going to have a birthday party for about a half an hour. So you're welcome to stay or tune in, and it's part of our birthday celebration is what we do is we're sharing with our community. So it's awesome to be able to share this opportunity for people to apply for grants, to further their interest, to, again, making our community what they envision it to be. So thank you for being part of our birthday celebration.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I hope you, hope you have a good day and enjoy your birthday celebration.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. It's me, Tony B. When I come back, we are going to be celebrating our 4th birthday here. Mr. Bellis, it's up to me to do that. Here, let me get it out of the way. There we go. Can you see that? Rainier Avenue Radio. Oh, okay. And like the number 4 on 4Culture, it's our 4th birthday. This is going to be fun. Looking forward to it. We'll see you back here in 2 or 3 minutes. Happy birthday, Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Celebrate. Oh, no.
What did you want? I thought you wanted the 27s.
No, that once we start this.
I don't have a commercial queued up.
Okay, we'll go to commercial.
I don't have one queued up. I'm queuing it up right now.
Is the mic on?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, this is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not trying out new wigs and cocktail dresses, Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
This week's Rainier Avenue Radio Metro League Student Athlete of the Week is Senior Nolan Ilawico for the Ballard Beavers.
Got a receiver open over the goal. Great pass. Touchdown, Ballard. Nolan Ilawico. Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness. Then the Beavers come back.
Nolan was dominant on both sides of the ball against Garfield. The Beavers senior tight end caught 5 passes for 85 yards on offense and also had 2 big sacks on defense. Nolan is committed to play college football at San Diego State University. Rainier Avenue Radio congratulates this week's Rancho League Student Athlete of the Week, Ballard Beaver Senior Nolan Ilawico.
My name is BK, International Talent Scout. I'm bringing a brand new show to you called BK Presents. 30 minutes, non-stop, your favorite in gospel music. The studio session, going deep into interviews with your favorite artists, producers, and their engineers. You and your concert previews and concert reviews. Get it all on BKPresents.com.
Here we go. This is Big Poppy, host of Jazz from the Cabinets. Join me each week for a listening tour of the first century of jazz, an eclectic mix of Dixieland, big band, cool jazz, bebop, contemporary jazz, world jazz, all jazz in all forms. That's Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy on Rainier Avenue Radio, streaming worldwide on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
2021 is the year of the local election. From fire district commission to school board to city council, there are over 300 offices up for election this year in King County alone. With so many moving pieces, it's important to know what paperwork is due when. That's where King County Elections comes in. While we can't teach you how to campaign, we can teach you how to make your run official. Join us for one of our upcoming candidate workshops in Thursday, April 1st, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, April 17th, 10 a.m. to noon. Thursday, April 29th, 10 a.m. to noon. Join us in April to learn the ins and outs of becoming a candidate here in King County.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Today is our birthday. Happy birthday, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Yes. Yes. Today is our birthday. Happy birthday, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Okay. have.
He joins us with his latest single on the Motown label entitled "Got to Give It Up." Let's
Oh,
welcome one of the great talents in the history of
we're getting
popular
this
music.
version.
Let's get your hands together, gang.
I see Big
Mr.
Poppy here. Big
Marvin
Poppy, what's going on? Bring Big Poppy on. Bring Big Poppy on. Big Poppy, what's happening, bro? I think you have to unmute. Let's see. Not hearing Big Poppy.
There we go.
Okay.
Happy birthday,
All right,
Tony.
Big Poppy, turn it up. Who else do we have there?
I see Kabibi over there.
Who's that?
Kabibi.
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Tony.
Hey, Kabibi.
Happy birthday, baby.
All right. Who else do we have in here?
I want to see three.
Who am I looking at? Put them up on the screen, Daniel, so I can see who.
Tony.
All right. Who else is at the birthday party? Tell me who you are. Who am I looking at? Put them up on the screen, Daniel. Ah, KZ.
Yeah.
This is very informal. All right, who else do we have there? Who else do we got on there? Okay.
Tony, I only see four of us, including you. So we got KZ, Kabibi, now we got somebody else coming in, that's five, and me, Paul Jackson.
Oh, that's Paul Jackson.
Yeah.
All right.
How you be, bro?
All right, happy birthday to us, Rainier Avenue Radio. Wow. Big Poppy, do we have your vocal right now? Are you on?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Ah, awesome. Cool in the game. Happy birthday to you, man. We don't see each other quite enough. Big Poppy does a show called Jazz in the Cabinets on Rainier Avenue Radio. I think you're up to 160 something episodes.
Oh, I'm almost to 200, Tony.
Oh my gosh, almost at 200 episodes. Tell us a little bit, man, about Jazz in the Cabinets. I got so much to talk about, but I knew you were going to be here. So tell us a little bit about Jazz in the Cabinets. We do so many things at the radio station, but this show is really awesome.
I have just thoroughly enjoyed the last almost 4 years of putting on my show, Jazz from the Cabinets. I love dipping into my truly cabinets full of jazz CDs and just kind of picking out mixes and shows and focusing on trumpeters or jazz trios. Or I had a great time putting together the shows for Women's History Month. That was kind of made me go through the cabinets to find as many of the female artists that I had in my library, and it was very enjoyable. And I hope everybody enjoyed the mix of fantastic women jazz artists and vocalists and players. It was very, very enjoyable. Some really historical stuff too. We're approaching 100 years of jazz, and some of my recordings go back to the early and mid 20s of the last century, and it's just really fun to deep dive into the cabinets.
And music is a big part of what we do. Speaking of which, KZ, who used to host Mo Jams, talk a little bit about Mo Jams, the most incredible, unique live music, make it up on the spot jam. Fortunately, the pandemic came along, but tell us about Mo Jams, KZ. What's that? There's a number of different things. It's been here with the radio station since almost the very beginning as well. But just since we're talking about music, talk about Mo Jams and what Mo Jams was. And you were the host of that and integrally involved in a number of different ways as well. We brought live music to Rainier Avenue Radio.
That's right. And you can still hear it every Monday at 10 p.m. Pacific time. So Mo Jam Mondays is a weekly 100% improvised music jam that happened over 5 years at Nectar Lounge in Fremont, Seattle. The next episode, when live music is allowed to happen again to bring this community back together, will be episode 336. So it'll be that many weeks of folks coming together, and it just really is a core part of the emerging musician and visual artist community here in Seattle. And we were lucky to create 55 episodes that are continuing to re-air on Rainier Avenue Radio.
All right. And since we're talking about music, one of our favorite partners, Karen Pepe with Earshot Jazz. Yes, Karen, bring Karen on if you can, Daniel. It's a happy birthday celebration. Karen's there in the waiting room. There she is. What's happening, Karen?
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the continued support. I should hold the magazine up. We have an ad that airs in that shows in Earshot Jazz magazine. And as a matter of fact, I think Big Poppy is the ad this time. Big Poppy. I don't know if you knew that or not. Hey, there's Earshot Jazz magazine and yeah, Big Poppy. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. That's fantastic.
You did not. Yeah, it's your show, coincidentally, and I think Karen is looking for it. And your show is the ad. So anyway, I kind of got sidetracked. Oh, there it is, right there. Oh, a little bit. There it is.
Awesome.
This is a birthday celebration for Rainier Avenue Radio. And, it's very free form. Yes, we're also going to ask you if you'd like to donate to us. And I want to share a little bit about who we are. Before we were a radio station that breaks all the rules, because that's what we do. We break all the rules of radio. We are a community radio station that exists to amplify the diverse voices of our community. And in order to do that, before we were even a radio station, we partnered with some folks and started the Creative Arts Digital Media Academy and began not only educating our youth, primarily at that point, it was middle schoolers. And I think it was 12 to 16 in the interdisciplinaries of everything from communications and journalism to app design, web design, math and coding classes, of course, film, photography, and broadcast and presentation. We offered those programs at Rainier Community Center, at the Rainier Vista Boys and Girls Club. That was before we even became a radio station. It was our commitment to the community to make sure that we provided our youth with 21st century job skills, because what's the point of having a modern technical network, broadcast media network, and you don't have the youth involved? So that was the first order of business, was to do that. And we were offering classes. And then from there, we began to make sure that we offered opportunity to folks in our community. Now, unlike regular mainstream radio, where there is hyper focus on one particular sound, one particular music, one particular thought, we were all over the place, because that's where our community is. Whatever the voice was that wanted to be amplified, that was the goal. That was the project. And then beyond that, it was all, how do we do this sustainably? How do we make sure that we're around for a long time? Well, that was a whole nother issue, because at one point we were homeless. And so we had to look into the prospect of ownership and land acquisition to be sustainable. And that was a whole nother journey. All of this has got us to the point where today we have over 80 shows broadcast by members of our community. And I think this is probably a good time, and we'll talk to some folks as well. This is a special presentation that we have for you to share with you a little bit more about Rainier Avenue Radio. And by the way, Daniel Bellis is in the house too. Daniel, you have a camera on? Can we show you? Daniel's being camera shy right now. Is your mic on?
You have my camera.
Oh, okay. Daniel Bellis is in the house too, who has been here from the beginning. One of the first programs that aired on the station was Fresh Juice, which you'll be able to hear again later on tonight. So thank you to everybody. We're not going into it right now. I'd like to take this opportunity to show you a video that says happy birthday to everybody. So here we go. Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Celebrating 4 years of broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in the interest of South Seattle and surrounding communities. Hey, it's Tony B, and yes, I'm excited to share with you that April 1st is our birthday. This one is our fourth of amplifying the diverse voices in our communities, broadcasting community events, providing award-winning instructional classes to youth and adults, supporting our music communities in all genres and forms, hosting critical conversations, and making sure that we are who you are. 2020 provided us with the opportunities to meet the needs of our communities. Rainier Avenue Radio is proud to have provided our communities with the most comprehensive coverage of how the coronavirus did and continues to impact our communities. And so, for our birthday, on behalf of our amazing staff, volunteers, and show hosts, to all of our contributors, supporters, listeners, and viewers, thank you. Thank you for your support and patience while we were trying to figure out this internet and broadcasting media thing 4 years ago. Thank you to our youth students who took our courses in interdisciplinaries like communication, journalism, multimedia, math and coding, adult digital literacy, social media analytics, beat making, film, photography, and of course, broadcast. Thank you for staying with us even when we made mistakes. You know that when we provide opportunities for you to share your voice, thoughts, issues, concerns, and talents, then we look at that as growing together. As the African proverb says, that is how we will go far. We have grown, and you've grown with us. We have over 80 shows hosted or produced by members of our communities. And all of this during a pandemic. But that is one reason why we do exist. As a true grassroots organization that started out broadcasting out of a study room in the Columbia City Library, we formed alliances with groups like the HCAACD, worked with city government, private developers, and a variety of arts organizations to promote sustainable art space, land acquisition, and ownership for arts organizations. I'm sure many were shocked when we leased 3 properties in the heart of Columbia City, providing our community members with business opportunities for a hair salon, barbershop, recording studio, rental hall, youth concert and celebration space, artist residency, and an art gallery, among the other multiple uses. We are continuing that growth as we move towards ownership of property in the Central District and in land acquisition in South Seattle's Columbia City to preserve the historical and cultural artistic integrity of our communities and ensure that independent voices continue to be heard. So for those of you who have found out about us recently, we thank you on our birthday for allowing us to broadcast our community-created content however and wherever you listen and watch. If you'd like to make a birthday donation to Rainier Avenue Radio, it would be much appreciated. Yes, times are tough, so any amount would be greatly appreciated. You will see the results. Here's how you can donate. You can go to our website at RainierAvenueRadio.world and go to the donate page. You can Venmo at Rainier Avenue Radio. You can send a check to Rainier Avenue Radio, P.O. Box 18774, Seattle, Washington, 98118. You can donate to Shunpike, which is our fiscal agent. Just indicate that your contribution is for Rainier Avenue Radio. Shunpike is the 501c3 nonprofit agency that provides independent art groups like ours in Washington State services, resources, and opportunities. Once again, happy birthday to us at Rainier Avenue Radio.world. We are your community radio station. We will continue to provide you with community-created content, broadcast live from our communities, and of course, we'll bring you high school sports like nobody else can. Join us in celebration. Rainier Avenue Radio.world. All right, happy birthday.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Tony, this is Kabuki. We would like to make a contribution to
I believe we had
radio.
I believe we had a Paul Pearson sighting too. Paul, are you there?
No, I'm not.
Man, if not right up there with Fresh Juice, one of the longest running and phenomenal programs on Rainier Avenue Radio. He also broadcasts high school sports with us. Paul Pearson. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you. I've had 2 birthdays this month, this one and my own. So that's really cool. Thank you so much for, this is the show, Star Time is the show I've always wanted to do. I never knew if I would have the chance to do it. And then you came along and let me do it. And I'm really appreciative of everything you've done to Rainier Avenue Radio has done to support my sometimes silly efforts. So, thank you very much.
Paul Pearson is what you would call a hoot. He's
a hoot.
A hoot.
Okay.
A hoot, like funny, like this guy is funny. This guy's just funny. This guy.
I'm all right.
Excuse me, Tony.
I thought Hoot was an acronym for something that I didn't understand.
Go ahead, Kabibi.
I'm trying to give you guys a donation, and it's in honor of Bonnie Chapman. She just passed, and we want to give a donation of $100 to as a birthday present for Rainier Radio, baby.
Oh my gosh, Kabibi. Thank you. And you had to stop us from partying to give us a dang donation.
I know. That's all right. We love you. We appreciate you. And happy birthday, 4 years and running.
And thank you, Kabibi, and thank you as a member of this community who was one of those, standard bearers that presented, folks like me with the vision to say, this is how you serve the community, and this is what arts is in our community, and stand up for it, because without it, we won't be the community that we need to be. So just Kabibi, you continue to be such a phenomenal person, and thank you for celebrating our birthday with us, and thank you for being the first donation on our 30-minute fundraising program. And I've spent 19 minutes of it not asking for donations.
That's all right. And that's in honor of Bonnie Chapman. Bonnie C, right?
Yes.
It's in her honor that we're giving you this.
Thank you.
Yesterday. I want you to tell everybody in the community that knows Bonnie. Triple Treat, the girls that Triple Treat used to sing with them, Native of Seattle. So this is in her honor that we are giving, this $100, baby.
And we humbly accept this gift and this donation, and I guarantee you it will go to great use, and you will see the results. And you know what? One of the things that we wanted to do on our birthday was ask people what they wanted in a community radio station. So I do want to do that. We have some folks joining us on Zoom. So if you're a community member on Zoom right now, unmute yourself. Somebody talk to me. Tell us what you would like to see in a community radio station. What are the things that you would like to see covered? Or if you have an interest in having your own show, somebody holler at me.
Hey, Tony, can you hear me?
Hey, who's this?
Yvette.
Hey, Yvette. Happy birthday.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Katrina. Hey, everybody. Yes, Tony and I have talked about this briefly. I have my own nonprofit called the Colored Girls Garden Club. And I want to do a show on the radio, and Tony and I are still hammering out the details.
Yes. And we're going to, and the title of the show, Yvette, is
Bloom Where You Are Planted.
And the concept of the show again, share with folks.
Well, to highlight the unsung heroes in the community, the people that are doing the work, and sometimes the people that we don't hear about, and sometimes the people that are doing the work that we do hear about.
And Yvette is also one of our venerated community elders who provides so much to Rainier Avenue Radio and has it behind the scenes and makes our impact in the community bigger because of what Yvette does within the community. Yvette, kind of when we had to do that strike thing, and I'm not going to talk about that too much because we're moving forward. And people know at this moment, that we are going to be who we are in the community, whether you like it or not. We're going to broadcast. We're going to share. But Yvette, was there in the rough times when we had to strike, and make sure that our voices were heard. So thank you, Yvette, and for all that you do in the community. And we're going to get that show on the air for you.
Absolutely. And one quick thing while I have your attention. The city of Seattle has the Equitable Initiative Task Force of 25 people supposed to determine where $100 million is going that the city set aside. And the community is supposed to have input, but we don't know that it's going on. So I want the Rainier Avenue Radio to kind of investigate that to see what's going on.
We're going to make it happen. We will.
And I'll text you the committee members and the mission statement so you can just go kick some ass.
We're going to do it. We're going to definitely find out where that 100 million is going, whether they like it or not. Who else? We got some folks. Go ahead.
This is Paul Jackson. How you doing today?
Hey, what's happening, Paul? Thank you for joining us for our birthday.
Happy birthday to you guys. It's wonderful. And so you may remember that I was with you back in the day doing 360 videos when you were doing a lot of those interviews and such.
Yep.
But right now, I guess 3 things. You know James Donaldson, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's running for mayor of Seattle. He wrote a book, and so this is a book I recommend everybody getting. And I would like for you to interview him one day.
Okay.
Another one I know is Jebediah Gardner. Jebediah Gardner is a graduate. I know he graduated high school out of Seattle, but he's now a lawyer. And he just wrote a book too. It's also a land developer. He bought the church that's over by 23rd and Union, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So that's doing that. And then
yes, and you know what? And yes, he would be a great person to have on. Good idea, Paul. We got to get him on. I know who you are speaking of, and yes, and what he's doing is phenomenal with land acquisition.
Exactly. And you know, I'm a member of the Breakfast Group, and so it'd be nice if maybe we can bring them in because their Project Mister mentorship program is now digital, and so we're trying to still reach out to the Seattle public high school seniors or students of color in high school. And so I like to bring one of the mentors and one of the members on the board of the Breakfast Group, and you can talk with them about their plans and what they're doing. And then the last one is a brother that plays golf, Murners Thompson, and apparently he's the only golf instructor, African American golf instructor, he's claiming in the state of Washington. He's got a store opening up. I texted you. I'd like for you to interview him also. So yeah.
Awesome. Wonderful ideas. See, this is how we exist as a radio station. When folks ask me how we do it, we ask the community what the community wants. The community tells us, and then we respond. And we're almost running out of time. I still haven't asked for donations yet, but I got to talk to the people who came on the program through Zoom. Anybody else out there got anything that they want to say, that they want to hear on the radio, or that we can, or what we could do, or maybe you want to be on the radio yourself? Anybody on Zoom, pipe up.
Hi there. My name is Katrina Cathcart.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy birthday to you. I work with an organization called the Rivkin Center, and we teach women about the risks, the signs, and symptoms of breast and ovarian cancer. And we do presentations that are free, and would love to have some kind of an opportunity or forum for which we can inform women and teach women about those issues.
What, Katrina? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, Katrina.
We are going to schedule you, and we are going to have you on the show before you know it. I think that is great information to get out to the public. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for giving us a call. And you can maybe put your email address in the chat, or connect us through RainierAvenueRadio.world@gmail.com. Please do, and share that idea with us and your information. And that would be, I think that's awesome to have on the air. Thank you, Katrina.
Will do. Thank you.
Anybody else out there on Zoom, don't be bashful, because we're almost out of time.
Katrina, may I mention that I've interviewed Bridget Hempstead? You know who she is, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I've interviewed her as well. So if you want me to interview you on Community Spotlight, cool. But if not, there's a whole bunch of wonderful hosts that can interview. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool.
All right. Anybody out there, before I actually ask for donations, who wants to say something? Come on now. Don't be shy.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Who was that?
That was me. I'm
oh.
Paul.
I assumed we would do a big group happy birthday shout out at the end.
Okay. I jumped the gun
there. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah. Okay. I guess I should. Daniel, this is the point. Look, if you like what we're doing, if you like what we do, donations would be great for us to have. We don't do this often enough. We do the work. That is the part that is fundamental to our being. And kind of the blueprint for this radio station was less based off of asking for donations and providing a sustainable resource to our community so that we can provide jobs to our community, so that we can provide resources for our community. As a matter of fact, when we do our classes, we offer our students stipends so that they can take the classes and at the same time feel comfortable with getting this curriculum and this education that is outside of their normal schoolwork, that they don't have to miss opportunities for employment. As a matter of fact, they can get paid to do it. And so, yes, donations would be great. And you can donate to us. You can do it now because we want to see how much we can make in a half an hour. Thank you for Kabibi. At least we know it was more than zero. Kabibi, donated $100. And you can donate to us at Venmo at Rainier Avenue Radio. That's Venmo at Rainier Avenue Radio. You can go to our website, which is RainierAvenueRadio.world, and then hit the donate button, and that will take you to Shunpike, where you can donate. Shunpike is our fiscal agent, and you can do a tax-deductible donation of any amount, whether it's $5 or $5,000. No, we're not tripping. Go ahead, make it happen. We'll put it to good use. You've seen what we do. And I'm going to also, I didn't give a shout-out to Phil Am Radio. I didn't see anybody here, but again, Bert Quealy and Phil Am Radio, one of the longest-running programs since Paul's here and Daniel's here, that we've had on the air broadcast in Tagalog every Tuesday from 1 to 2:30. Thank you, Bert, for your long continued support. But yes, so you can go to Shunpike. And I know Paul Pearson is about to go on the air here in a second, too. Maybe I'll ask him for permission if we can go 5 minutes over. But I'll have to get Paul's permission. And our mail-in as well. You can mail us. It's up there on the website. But if you're listening, it's Rainier Avenue Radio, P.O. Box 18774, P.O. Box 18774, Seattle 98118. So, again, Venmo at Rainier Avenue Radio. You can go to our website and click the donate button, which will take you to Shunpike. You can make your donation at Shunpike. Just say it's for Rainier Avenue Radio, and that's tax deductible. And you can do that from our website, or you can mail in to Rainier Avenue Radio, P.O. Box 18774, Seattle 98118. And so, yes, it would be, it would support our educational programs, which we still continue to offer. We've taught classes in everything from Franklin to Rainier Beach, to Mercer Middle School, Meany Middle School, Washington Middle School, Rainier Valley Leadership Academy, Mount Lake Terrace High School. We have taught classes students have attended from Cleveland and Garfield, Seattle Academy. Our interns who started with our program have went on to do some pretty incredible things. And just to make sure that our seniors were not left out, we had a partnership and have a partnership with Atlantic Street Center, where we teach adult digital literacy to make sure that our seniors are comfortable sharing their voices and at the end of the day, advocating on behalf of themselves and their peers as well, which is what it's all about. And if you have an interest in broadcast, doesn't matter what your background is. If you haven't, we've had folks come to this radio station, most of them with no background in broadcast whatsoever. They may have been and have been doctors, attorneys, other professionals, unsheltered and homeless, people who just want their voice heard. We'll provide you with the platform, and we don't tell you what to say. That's up to you. What we will do is help you find your voice, and so that you can share your message in your voice. And so when I say find your voice, that doesn't mean saying, hey, this is what you want to sound like. It means these are the things and the issues that are important to you and the concerns that are important to you. Who are you trying to reach with your message, and what do you want that message to be? Find your voice on this radio station. And that can also be through art. That can be through expression. That can be through discussion of critical issues. Sometimes it can be things that are happening in the community that you want to hear discussed because they're impacting and affecting you. And let me be clear about this to anybody who's running for office out there. We will hold a town meeting that reflects the issues and concerns of our community, whether you like it or not. All right. Voices will continue to be heard on Rainier Avenue Radio. That is the beauty of who we are as a radio station. And we may not always agree, but it's important, especially when you live in South Seattle, that you're open to hearing your community and your neighbors because of the diversity, the differences in culture. And this place that we live, although we have over 100 different dialects spoken, a lot of times it still continues to be siloed. And with the current political climate, that makes these unanticipated challenges even more difficult during isolation because we don't communicate. And so sometimes communication is fun and it's amazing, and we definitely highlight those opportunities to showcase all of the folks in South Seattle who are doing amazing things every single day. So if you tune in to Rainier Avenue Radio, you will hear about the incredible members of our community who support this community, who build this community, who are part of this community. And so having said that, I know we're a little bit older over time. Anybody have anything they want to say before we go and before we have a big, I think Casey had a big idea. We just had a big group happy birthday. But before we do that, anybody have anything that they want to say? The floor is open.
No.
Okay.
I would say don't forget about monthly donations.
Oh,
Those are very convenient.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You can do a monthly donation as well, and we can get you set up for that. Thank you. That's probably the thing, that we don't do as often as we don't ask for donations often. Certainly there's nothing wrong with that. And we're just taking this opportunity for a half an hour to let people know more what we do. And yes, it's great to donate. We're a community radio station with 80 different volunteers in a number of different capacities, but that's how we make it. Anybody have anything else they want to say?
Happy birthday, Tony. You're rocking.
All right. Okay. I guess on the count of 3 then.
Everybody unmute.
Everybody unmute, and whatever kind of birthday song, sang, happy birthday thing you want to do, don't be scared. All right, this is showtime. Give us your best happy birthday. All right, your best happy birthday. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And many more.
All right. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning. I should have stopped when you said "and many more," Paul. That was probably so. I'm gonna sign out. We're gonna go to Paul Pearson, but I'm gonna let you finish. You can do that and many more one more time, Paul, and then Daniel, you can just take us directly to Paul Pearson.
And many more.